Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Aqua. How is everybody? Welcome to the Cross Comics Chill stream. Um, just me here at the moment, and you apparently can't. Oh, there you can. There you go. You can see me now. You can see me now. Ba da 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 da. I don't know what to say, what to do. Ba da 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 da. So, I'm doing that good. That's good. Not sure. I've got a couple of things that I'm gonna go over. I officially bought my ticket today to go down to California for Alpha Omega Con. I'll be leaving on September the 11th. Go figure. Uh, and I will be going arriving Thursday. I'll be leaving here at like 9 in the morning. Well, not my house, but Hamilton. I'll be leaving Hamilton, getting on the bus to leave Hamilton just before 9. The bus is supposed to leave at 9:05, and then I arrive in Riverside, California, at about 5:40 a.m. on Thursday. Hey, Massive. What's going on? Not much. Just waiting for some people to show up. I'm going to be showing off a couple of new things on my website, and going over my itinerary for going from Hamilton to Riverside, California, to for the Christian Comic Con, and of course to hang out with Dillard for a couple days. So that should be fascinating. Ooh, sounds fun, says Aqua. So I'm also waiting. Hopefully, we'll have some other people on with me while we talk about this, whatever. A minor update, too, for those that probably aren't really following or don't really care, and maybe for those that do care that might watch. I am down to 237. Well, I could have went up a little, I could have went down a little, but as of yesterday morning when I weighed myself, I'm at 237. So last week I was at 240, so I went down 3 pounds. So I am slowly losing. Sometimes I go up a week or half a pound or a pound 1 week. Then I come down a little bit back to what I was, and then sometimes I get down a little bit further, like 3 pounds. Yeah. But I was trying to wait till a few more people came in to go over the itinerary. That sounds cool. So it's a Christian themed comic convention. I didn't know those existed. They are are they expecting a large turnout with both creators and guests? Um, I'm not sure what they're expecting for. I haven't asked that. I know when I was there a few years ago, about 5 years ago now. Um, they had about 200 or 300 people go through, so that was pretty good. Like I said, this is in California. They've actually got some a couple good guests that are going to be there. Let me pull up my email because I got something about this the other day. A couple people that are going to be there. That's not that one. Do, 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 do. Well, I hope I didn't delete it. I can't seem to find it. Oh, maybe it's in my trash. Today. 622. Let's see. Alpha. I was just showing this the other day, or reading it. Could have sworn it was in my email. Well, let's see. Let's search my trash. Alpha. No, I can't see. And then Alpha. See if you guys are saying anything. No, nothing new. Could have sworn it was in my emails. Jeez. I hate it when you can't find something in your emails. Oh, I do because no, that was today. Monday, no. Thursday. Monday. Is it in my junk? No. I can't. I didn't think I had deleted it. I hate this. Maybe it was somewhere else that I had it. Oh well. Yeah, there's gonna be some pretty good. There's gonna be a few good guests. So yeah, I'm hoping for a decent turnout. Hoping to sell a bunch of books. Last time I was there, all I had was a digital version of Canadian Shield One, and this was the pre-Indiegogo version. So it didn't even look the best. I could show you a little bit from that if you guys really wanted to. Um, hey JR, I just deleted 3,000 emails from my Gmail account. Oh wow, lovely. I don't got quite that. Well actually probably my Gmail I do. I haven't been to my Gmail account in years. It's probably inactive. um, but, let me put my. But yeah, um, although I'll probably go over this a little later if other people show up. But right now there's some people here. Maybe I'll go over it. Um, People in the chat. Well, maybe I'll ask before I do. Do you want to go? Do you want me to go over my? I call it my itinerary of where I'll be and when I'll be on my trip from Hamilton to Riverside from the 11th to the 14th. So if anybody might want to meet up, if we could, oh, sure, okay. Well, at, like I was saying earlier, 9:05 a.m. From Hamilton. I am leaving, um, and then well, at 10:35 I arrived downtown London. We're there for 5 minutes, probably just long enough to pick up some people. Then uh, and by London I mean London, Ontario, not London, England. And then at Western University in London, again 5 minutes. There at 10:50 a.m. And then Chatham, Kent, Ontario. We're there for 0 minutes, but we're there at 12:35 p.m. Um, so these days, of course, there's going to be very little programming. Um, for me, I'm gonna try and make sure I've got all my shorts being put up, at least one a day. Probably at 8 or 9 in the morning, Eastern time. I'll set them all to go up. I want to make sure they're all ready to go. I did something similar to that when I was doing my verse of the day. When I did went down to Brazil, I did all my verses of the days in advance and set them to go off every day while I was gone. But okay. Anyways, after Chatham is Windsor, Ontario, and we're there at 1:35 p.m. and we're there for 5 minutes, and then it's crossing the border, and we end up at the Detroit bus station at approximately 2:25 p.m. And then it's crazy time because I got to spend 4 hours and 35 minutes at the Detroit bus station. So if anybody is in the Detroit area and they want to come and hang out with me for 4 hours or so at the Detroit bus station, you know, you're more than welcome to. I might, if they, depending on what they have for um, stuff there, like internet, maybe I will hop on and do a small live stream from my phone using StreamYards. Um, so I end up leaving the Detroit bus station at 7 p.m. on the 11th, and we get to Toledo bus station at 8:20, and we're there for 20 minutes. So if you're near Toledo, want to hang out for 5 or 10 minutes, feel we can meet up. Then Cincinnati, then technically it'll be the next day because 12:25 a.m. So we've passed the hour mark, and these are all, I believe, local times. Uh, finally sent you the photos of my father and grandfather. Could you please not post them online anywhere? Of course not. Of course not. There's no online photos of our family, and I and others would like it to stay that way. Well, the only way um that their face will end up appearing, of course, is you know with the Prussian shield if I draw him without his mask. So I'll practice offline for that, obviously. But once the face is drawn in, and well, I'll show you it before I make it official or anything like that. The drawing, of course. I mean, to see what you think. Drawings are awesome. Just photos. Yeah. Yeah, but that's no problem. I wouldn't post anybody's photos but my own, and by my own ones that I own, and you sending me a photo for somebody's face as references, not me owning them. Well, unless, like it's some photo that's been shared a billion times on the internet, of course. You know, and there are those photos that that have been that way. Anyways, like I said, I'm gonna be in Cincinnati at the Cincinnati bus station for 30 minutes at 12:25 a.m. on the 14th of, or no, on the 12th, sorry, the 12th. And then about 2 hours, just over 2 hours later, I will be at the Louisville bus station. Hey, good night, Spoon. What is Dupa Lipa? I have no idea. I will be at the Louisville bus station for 35 minutes. And then we get into Nashville bus station at 5:10 a.m. Is your camera still supposed to be off? Why is my face not showing? Oh, sorry. Uh, there. Okay, so yeah, this. Let's see. Okay. Oh, now it's good. Yeah. The screen is black. Oh, uh, no, it wasn't off. Sometimes when I go to a different window or whatever, if I'm either not on the Discord or on my um OBS, it likes to take whatever I'm showing from off. Eh. So, let's see. Let's catch up. Yes, photos of Madonna's unmentionables exist every nook and cranny on and offline. My family's photos, not so much. Yeah. Louisville says, good night, Spoon, trying to tell me. Yeah, the screen is black. Now it's good. Man, you're going to be traveling all over the place, Rick. That's one huge trip. I've noticed that. What's the deal with the camera thing? I have no idea. I think that's what you're asking. So I'm gonna try and have the chat up. So if I do go black again, let me know. I'm right now. I'm looking at OBS. So let's see. We were at Nashville from, and we're gonna at 5:10 a.m. on Tuesday the 12th, and then I'm there for an hour and 40 minutes. So if anybody's Nashville wants to come by and say hi at like 5:10 in the morning, I'm there till 6:50. And then it's on to Jackson Megamart. I'm not sure where that is exactly, but apparently it is about 2 hours past the Nashville bus station. I'm going to be there for 20 minutes. And then I'm going to be in Memphis. Oh, man, Memphis. Memphis, I believe, Tennessee. Um, Bus station. I'm going to be there at 10:45 a.m. on Tuesday. I'm going to be there for about 70 minutes. So, hey, if somebody wants to drop on by, uh, yeah, usually when you have a guest on, they will tell you to look at something, and Discord blocks out while you're doing whatever they were showing you. Yeah. Then I 1 p.m. I'm at Forest City bus station. I'm not sure what state that's in, but I'm there for 0 minutes, so no use going there to see me because it's probably just picking up people and zooming on by. If there's nobody at the bus stop, we might just zoom on by. I don't know. And then Malvern Development Council again. That's at 3:50 p.m. on the Tuesday. Um, and again, 0 minutes, so not worth coming by there. And then there's Texarkana Travel Stop. I have no idea about that one. Um, I'm there for 25 minutes though. That 5:30 p.m. on the Tuesday. And then Mount Pleasant. That's a subway Sunoco stop. We're there. It says 0 minutes. At 6:55 that day, and then Sulphur Springs. There for 25 minutes at the Grocery and Fuel at 7:35 p.m. Yeah, that's exactly how it's spelled. Good night, Spoon. Yeah, Springs for 25 minutes at 7:35. Then at Greenville Caddo for like 0 minutes at 8:40. Oh, hello. Hey, Metal.
Rick, it's pronounced Texarkana.
Texarkana.
Yes, it's on the border of Texas and Arkansas. It's Texarkana.
Yeah. Good. Oh, yeah. You just said that. I was gonna say Good Night Spoon said it, but I realized it was your
Yeah.
name beside that. Uh. Well,
I've been
Greenville.
there camping when I was a kid.
Okay. Well, and then I'm going to be at Greenville, Caddo Mills, Texas for 0 minutes at 8:45 p.m. So,
Yeah,
uh,
from Texarkana on, you're just going to be in Texas for a while.
yeah. Um, uh, Massa Panda says, "What's up, Metal?" And then a Good Night Spoon says, "I see no evidence of water in Texarkana. I find Metal's assertion dubious at best."
Well, good luck with that.
So, and then at 9:40 p.m. on the 12th, I will be at the Dallas, Texas bus station.
I guess the lake isn't directly in Texarkana, but it used to be called Lake Texarkana at one point in time. I think it's called something Patman Lake now. It's like 11 miles from it.
And then I'm going to be at the
Yeah.
Dallas bus station for 3 hours and 10 minutes. And I transferred to a different bus. So, anybody wants to come by for that too, they're more than welcome. Because we leave there at 12:50 a.m. and then we get to Fort Worth at 1:35, and we're there for 10 minutes. And then Albany, we're there at 4:15, there for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Good Night Spoon says it takes a day to cross Texas.
It
I don't
does.
think does it take a day?
Pretty much. I think at least all day time to get from like here to El Paso, you're going to be spending like I don't know 12, 13 hours on the road.
Yeah, it's saying Dallas 9:40 and El Paso bus station
Mhm.
is actually over 24 hours away according to there, but we've got like a 10-minute, 30-minute, 20-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute stop, you know.
Yeah.
Well, no, 12:50, less than 24 hours because we leave the bus station at 12:50 a.m. and get there at 11:59 a.m. the El Paso bus
Mhm.
station. Although Hey, I'm used to like to get out of well, if you're going west and you live where I live
Mhm.
in Ontario, it take unless you take a shortcut to the states, but if you're going all through Ontario, it takes a day to get out to get to Manitoba. I think it's Manitoba. That's next to. I don't know my Canadian geography well.
Oh, yep, I found it. It was called Wright Patman Lake. It's right in the Texarkana area. It's like 11 miles down the highway, and it used to be called Lake Texarkana at one point in time. Back when I was there, it was Lake Texarkana. So there is a lake. It's technically a reservoir, but a lot of the lakes in this area are man-made.
Let's see. JR says Texas looks small to Ontarians, but that's because of the Merca projection. It looks on the map to be one third of the size of Ontario, but because it's closer to the equator, it's is actually larger. Well, I
Yeah,
think
there are provinces in Canada that are larger than Texas. Like about half of yours are, but we're Texas in size falls like right around halfway through
yeah,
your province sizes.
yeah, like most of the maritime province, not maritime, prairie provinces like Manitoba, Saskatchewan,
Hmm.
Alberta, and even BC. If you're going north to south, it probably takes a good chunk of time to get through those. Probably a day to get through them. To go if you started at the states border and went up to um, either Yukon or Northwest Territories border. Maybe none
Hmm.
of it. I'm not sure whether none of it borders either of those. It might just border the Northwest Territories. I'm not completely sure. But I think Ontario. We've actually looked at this before. Me and Metal, the Ontario size versus um, Texas size. I think
They're
Ontario is
pretty
slightly.
comparable. Right? They're pretty comparable.
Yeah. Ontario, well, Ontario and Quebec, I think, are the biggest provinces, even square footage
Mhm.
wise, or what, however you want to measure them. Um, although technically by road you cannot go from the bottom of Ontario, which would be close to where I am, to the top of Ontario, and it probably is the same for Quebec as well. I would
You
guess.
also usually don't measure states or provinces in square foot. You would do square mile or square kilometer.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I mean. Let's see. Goodnight Spoon says, I've traveled the entire East Coast in 24 hours. I don't know why it takes the same amount of time to cross Texas. It's baffling. Well, Texas is just that big. Well, I guess it also depends on which part of Texas you're crossing, too.
Yeah, yeah. So like one of the longest stretches is to go what's it called? Uh latitudinally, right? If you're going from east to west Texas, from the Louisiana border to El Paso is like the longest stretch that you can kind of make.
Yeah.
Um straight. Now, technically the longest stretch is from the Panhandle down to the kind of like tip where Brownsville is,
Yeah.
but it's not like a straight path. You have to kind of like do this weird snaky thing just to be able to do that.
Yeah.
If you go like as the crow flies, you'd be cutting through Oklahoma.
Yeah. And well, then there's the top part of
Mhm.
Texas, which is a lot shorter width wise than probably most of the other part of Texas.
Yeah, the Panhandle. That's what the top part is.
Uh, Good Night Spoon says, Rick, ask Metal what a dupa lipa is, then ask about Fauzi tube, Fuzitse tube. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. You have any idea what he's talking
Uh,
about?
I've heard of these people a little more about FusiTube than Dua Lipa, but I don't know much about them other than they're really really popular. I think Lipa has like songs or whatever. That's about all I know.
He says, Faustus. Good night, Spoon. So then at 6:25 a.m. On the 13th now, we're Wednesday the 13th. I'm at Big Springs bus station for 20 minutes. So again,
Yeah.
somebody want to hang out for 10 minutes, you're there.
Yeah, I know about Faust. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the term the Faustian bargain comes from.
Good Night Spoon says, sold his soul to the devil for some magic beans. Isn't that Jack? And then pooped a golden egg? Jack and the Beanstalk? Sounds similar. Except he got a
Faust.
chicken to poop it, not him. And
I think
then
it was a singing goose.
then we got Midland Odysseus.
I think. No, the goose didn't sing. There was a self-playing harp up there too. That was right.
Yeah. Then I'm in Midland Odysseus for 5 minutes at 7:35 a.m. And then
I told
Pecos.
you it's Odessa.
Oh, Odessa.
Yeah.
Good Night Spoon says, I don't know Jack. And then Harp.
Yeah.
And then I'm at Pecos, and it's got in bracket stripes for 30 minutes at 9 a.m. And then, like I said, El Paso bus station, 11:59 a.m. And I am at the El Paso bus station for 4 hours and 31 minutes.
I want you to pay attention to something when you're passing that area, right?
If I can.
Because there's nothing out there, right? For a long stretch. Even
Yeah.
from like Fort Worth to Midland, there's not much. And then from you'll be passing through Abilene. But like from like Midland, Odessa to El Paso, there's like nothing, but still somehow every like 10 miles you're going to see a Golden Corral.
A Golden Corral is a restaurant?
Yes, it's a buffet.
Okay. We might have stopped at one my first time, because this is a slightly different route that I'm taking this time. Well, maybe not obviously, but then again, last time I went into LA proper, so that's probably got to do with something of my alternate trek.
Yeah. But it's like
Um,
for some reason, there could be nothing around, not even like a rest stop for anything else, and there's just a Golden Corral right there.
Good Night Spoon says, pretty ballsy going to Texas during a heat wave. Well, I'll be on a
You mean the
nice air.
summer?
I was gonna say technically I'm going. Well, I guess it's still summer technically. So, like, you missed everything that you did not hear or see while you were not here, Timothy. I've just been going over a little bit of my itinerary. I'm actually almost done it. So yeah, I leave the El Paso bus station in on West San Antonio Street at 4:30 p.m. on 13th. Yeah, the 13th. And like I said, I'm gonna be on a nice air conditioned bus. Well, I'm presuming it's air conditioned.
Yeah, today was a nice day. It was a nice, cool 93-degree day.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about this is they pick your seat. You don't get to just pick whatever seat you want. They tell you, yeah, you're in this seat.
Well, at least they don't pick your nose.
Yeah. I might prefer that. Timothy says, Cross Comics 2023 tour. Get your tickets while you still can. Well, there are some places that people could meet up with me if they wanted, if they, were close enough. Unfortunately, Metal isn't close enough. I think he's about No, Marsupial's I think the one that I found the closest, but he's already going to be at Dillard, so he's just going to say, "Screw that! I'm not going to meet up with him. I'm going to
Well,
see him in
especially
a
like
day or
close to
two."
midnight.
Yeah. Well, till he found out that I was going to Dillard's and I was just going to see him there, he was thinking about it. It seemed.
Yeah, I had to remind him that he's already going to be seeing you anyway.
Yeah. Timothy says Henry Rollins had to get in the van, Rick. In the van. Rick has to get on the bus. Yeah. So yeah, leave El Paso at 4:35 p.m. Oh no, 4:30, and then it says El Paso Pasanio Drive at 4:35. So, and we're there for 10 minutes. Really? Really? We drive for 5 minutes and then we stop for another 10 minutes? That's just ludicrous. Goodnight Spoon says Texas loyalty check. When was your last visit to Carusi?
The market?
Timothy, Goodnight Spoon says, I see no Timothy. Which one? Yes, there is only Timothy. Um, Goodnight Spoon, are you on live chat or what's the other one? Top chat. Because I'm on live chat and I see Tim in the chat. Timothy says, "You will see me, Goodnight Spoon, or else." And Timothy says,
means
reread that,
cross.
Rick. You almost had it right. I
I
think
think a
I
better
got it right
question is,
before.
when's the last time I've been to Lockhart, Texas? That's the bigger question.
Goodnight Spoon says, "Is this because I said he was here for the butt stuff? All messages?" Okay, I don't know. That's probably yesterday. But yeah, let's see. Las Cruz. I'm at 5:40 for 5 minutes, and then Deming for 0 minutes at 6:45, and then Lordsburg for 0 minutes at 7:45, and then South Tucson for 5 minutes at 9:05, and then the University of Arizona Tucson 6th Street Garage for 5 minutes at 9:25. And then Tucson North Freeway for 15 minutes at 9:40, and then Temp University / rural for 5 minutes at 11:35 p.m. Goodnight Spoon says 9 years for me. I am not a character from Community, says Timothy. And then he says Rick will only stop for the groupies. No,
I'm
I
trying
will
to think.
stop. The bus stops, I stop.
Probably not 9 years, but it's got to be maybe 6. Because I don't go down there that often.
And then let's see, Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport / 44th Street Station. I'll be there for 10 minutes at 11:55 p.m. And that's where I was possibly gonna see Marsupial, but that didn't happen. The Cross Comics groupies. Unfortunately, there are none of those yet, and I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Is it a good thing or a bad thing to have groupies, Metal?
Depends. They got to
Depends
be
on
better
how.
than stalkers. I had stalkers in high school. Groupies have to be better than that. So I'm gonna say a good thing, just by default.
Okay. And then we're at Ethanburg at 2:30 a.m. for 20 minutes. Then Palm Springs North at 4:50 for 0 minutes. And then at 5:40 a.m. we are at UC Riverside, Lot 30. And guess who we will be meeting at that point?
The ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah. The one, the only, John Dillard.
Ooh. Goodnight Spoons brings up a good point. Groupies are stalkers that you haven't put up boundaries with yet. But maybe they're stalkers you haven't had to put up boundaries with yet. Right? Like they haven't crossed the line. Because I think if they have, you would have put up the boundaries. So I'm fine as long as they stay in groupie area.
Yeah, well, groupies don't get to know your. Well, maybe they do. I was gonna say
They
every
might find
last
out.
little detail of your life. They
Mm.
just usually follow your band wherever it goes or whatever you're doing.
Dude, I remember in high school, and I just really didn't want to deal with it that day. But my buddy Keith brought one of my stalkers over to where I lived, and he was like outside my house, like in the yard, and we had to go to the grocery store, and we just didn't want to deal with it. So me and my brother just hopped the back fence because our house, the back of it was like near the main road.
Lovely. Well, let me change this so not that you're not showing anything, but so we can have equal.
You don't have to change anything, Rick.
I know I don't have to, but
I also agree with Goodnight Spoon. I'd be more interested in hearing what your plans are to do while on the bus than where you'll be for 5 to 10 minutes in between.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, I see that now. Rick, I'm wearing.
Mhm.
well, there'll probably be a lot of sleeping, a little bit of eating. I'll probably get in some conversations. I know last time I got in some good conversations. Um, depending on who is beside me or whatever, what's going on that way, I might do some short videos and upload them to my channel to say where I am and that like when I get a 5 minute break, and if I can get off the bus, maybe 10 minutes, I might do a quick short vid and just upload that. Uh, Timothy says hashtag Rick wants some hoes. Rick, will you
Some
be
of my
on?
favorite
No,
conversations have been on Greyhound buses.
Rick, that's a good one. No, I said a lot of sleeping. I will be waking up periodically.
You have to get off the bus.
Yeah, yes, I've got to get off the bus several times to switch to other buses. Like, I think I have 5 transfer. It says 4 transfers. So like when I get to Detroit, I have to get off the bus there, and I have to wait 4 hours and 35 minutes to get on the next bus at 7 p.m. And then at 5:10 a.m., I have to get off the bus at Nashville, and and then I have to get on the bus at Nashville at 6:50 a.m. And then I have to get off that bus at 9:40 p.m. I think the next day or later that day at Dallas, and then 3 hours later I need to get on the bus at Dallas and get off at El Paso, and then I need to get on at El Paso and get off at Riverside.
I don't know if I could sleep on a bus.
I know I can, so
Not even the movement, though. When I was in vehicles, the movement used to put me to sleep when I was really young. It has like the adverse effect now.
yeah,
Uh, it's There are a lot of fine, nice people who ride buses. There's
yeah,
also a bunch of weirdos that ride buses too.
yeah. Yeah, I know last time I did
I
this, I
know
got to
I'm one
pick
of
my
them.
seat. I know last time I did this, I got to pick my seat, but this time, it's picked my seat for me. You can even pick your seat. They gave you the option for $5 to be able to pick your $5 or $4 to pick your seat. So it's like, yeah, I don't care. It's not worth $5 for me to be able to pick a particular seat. Usually, I like getting on the bus, seeing where people are, and then just picking my seat that way. Because depending on what mood I'm in, how many people, if I want to sit with somebody or whether I think I want to sit with that person or not, you know, but they're not giving me a choice. Good Night Spoon says, I get motion sickness if not driving. Uh, well, I have been known to get motion sickness too. Well, and that just more you feel queasy. You don't use nothing usually ends up of it, at least in my case. Timmy says sleeping after a drug fueled bus trip. Tim raises his hand for something, saying, "I used to be a weirdo that went on buses. I don't know
Same.
whether I'm not a weirdo or not. I'm not sure whether I'm a weirdo on buses. I am. Could be weird.
There was one time coming up from Waco because I went to college down in Waco, so I would take the bus back sometimes on weekends just to hang out with family and stuff.
Yeah,
And there was like a whole lot of us just congregated in the back by the restroom that I think was even closed. Like nobody ever used the restroom on any Greyhound bus I was on. I think half the time they even had them like locked shut so people couldn't use them. But they were there, built into the bus, and we were hanging out back there in that like little caddy, right? That little corner in the back.
yeah,
And I even led a whole group of people through a round of I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. We were making a ruckus back there.
yeah. But unless somebody complains, the bus driver doesn't really care as long as you're not being.
Even if they complain, the bus driver usually doesn't care.
Yeah.
As long as
Uh.
it is not impeding the bus driver from doing what they need to do.
Yeah. Good Night Spoon says, Rick, I didn't know you were so judgy. Well, I think everybody is a little judgy when they're getting on a bus.
Judgy, no. Cautious, yes.
Yeah.
Like
Does this
I don't care
person
what
look
you
like
do in
they?
your life. Just don't take my stuff. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Or it's like, do I want to sit there by this person? This person looks like they're gonna talk my ear on off, and I don't want to be talked to. I want to sleep.
I just don't want people to try to take my stuff. I don't want to have to
Yeah.
stab someone.
Yeah. Timothy says, I went to Waco once, Dr. Pepper Museum. I think he means to the
The
Dr.
Dr.
Pepper.
Pepper Museum is stellar. It's a great place.
So, yeah, it's hopefully going to be a good trip. I was hoping, I'd be able to meet some of these people here along the way, but, eh, it is what it is, right? And then, of course, I do have my return trip as well, which is going to
Which is
be,
going to be all the same places. We're just going to hit rewind on the tape.
yeah. I'm not sure whether all the time limits are the same there. Let's see. I do have. I think I had something in my. Fix bus.
No, we're just going to tie a fishing line to you and have it unroll the entire way. So then when it's time to come back, we're just going to start spooling the fishing line back in, and it's going to pull you back.
Yeah, and when I leave, Dylan's gonna love this. I leave at 12:50 a.m. on the 18th. So Sunday's over. Go there. Let's see, El Paso. I'm at for an hour and 45. From the Dallas one, oh, I'm only there for 35 minutes on the way back. Nashville, I'm only there for 40 minutes. Cincinnati, I'm there for 30 minutes. Oh, there's the big one. Detroit bus station. 5 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh, trapped in Detroit for 5 hours? Ah,
And at a Detroit bus station.
yeah. I, I think the only place I could think of worse to be trapped in for 5.5 hours is like, I don't know, Gary, Indiana.
So coming back, my wait times aren't quite as bad, but they slapped that logo on everything. I find it suspicious that the only city in Texas you didn't mispronounce was Waco. Well, I heard that a lot in the news way back when. The wacko from Waco.
The Waco Kid.
Bastard won't even stop in Idaho. Sounds like a horror movie. 5.5 hours in Detroit. I might feel like that the Terminal, the guy Tom Hanks in Terminal.
Yeah. Well, just don't lose your passport then.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh.
maybe bring a knife with you.
Yeah, well, I might have a problem crossing the border with the knife then.
Oh, that's
You,
true, because your border's insane.
although
I don't
I'm
think you have trouble
Canadian,
getting into our border with a knife. I think it's getting back in.
although actually I might not because I am Canadian. It's hard to say, but you
I mean,
guys
people
come in
cross the
with a
southern border with knives all the time.
yeah, but they're doing it illegally usually.
Well,
Timothy's
I mean, it could also be the states on the border. We're in Texas, where you can legally walk around with a sword on your hip if you want. Those northern states might have more of a problem with people having weapons on them, just in general.
let's see, but you speak English, says. Good night, Spoon. Timothy says, except there'll be roaming gangs of back people instead of zombies. Laugh out loud.
Unless you go through Montana, I don't think Montana has any problem with anybody having any weapon on them. You could probably cross the border there, pretty easily. But that's not where you're going through. That's the other side of Canada.
Yeah, I'm going through Windsor. See, the crazy thing is, I could probably walk across in that 5.5 hours. I could probably walk across into Windsor.
From Detroit?
Yeah, well,
Oh no.
Detroit
Try to
is
think like
right.
how fast you walk.
Well, Detroit is right on the other. Windsor and Detroit are across from each other on the border.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think.
Although I'm not sure whether I want to be walking the streets of Detroit.
Yeah, that's another reason we're trying to think, because you'd have to stick to just the main roads, which means you're gonna have to take the long way around because the roads snake in Detroit. I'm like, could you do that in just 5.5 hours? Maybe on foot. That's a long walk.
Well, it depends on where the bus station is. Both bus
Yeah,
stations are.
and you have to cross a bridge,
Yeah.
the Ambassador Bridge, and even if you're walking, though you're crossing that bridge, you still have to go through customs,
Yeah.
right? There's a check-in at the Ambassador Bridge, so it's like, I don't know, it might take just as long, maybe longer.
It's hard to say. Well, in this, in this, Windsor at 1:35, and then it says the Detroit bus station 2:25. So that's 50 minutes, and then probably probably half that time or three quarters of that time is at customs because everybody's got to get off the bus, go through customs, and then get back on the bus. So, uh, uh, oh,
Now Timothy's cringing at his own joke. He's like, "Yeah, that was probably more messed up than it should have been."
Good Night Spoon says, "What do you know about Waco, Rick?" I just remember there was some sort of cult there. Jim
Yeah,
Jones, was it? Or am I thinking a different guy? I just remember the wacko from Waco. It's been, like what, 30, 40 years since that happened?
yeah, it's been quite a while.
Uh, are you a
It's the
Branch
Branch
Davidian?
Davidians,
I'm not even sure what that is. What gifts are you
which
bringing John from Canada? I don't know. Uh,
it was
uh,
it was called the General Association of Branch Davidian Seventh-day Adventists,
uh,
which was an apocalyptic cult founded by Benjamin Roden.
okay. I guess you just looked that up.
I had to look up the full name. I knew the Benjamin Roden part though, because that's kind of like the whole history.
Oh, okay. Timothy
There's a
says,
very nice event that you should read about at some point in time called the Waco Siege.
JR says David Koresh. Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of, David Koresh. Um, now let's see. Timothy said,
It's-
get some fried chicken that you might have to throw to get them.
yeah,
Then he
Koresh.
says, damn, that joke was kind of effed up. Laugh out loud. Good night, Spoon. That was a joke. I can't see Timothy. I'm telling you, Good Night Spoon, switch to live chat. Timothy's like, you laugh and then sort of hate yourself for making it. It's
Yeah, you
Da
could just watch the
Vinci's.
Wendigoon doc on it. I like Wendigoon. Wendigoon's a great show, a great channel. He's a good guy. I've promoted him on the Vomitorium several times. Not like he needs it. He's way bigger than we are, like orders of magnitude bigger. But he's great if you want to know about like real life conspiracy stuff. If you want to know about like analog horror or just anything in that like general field.
Uh, well, I guess you said that's you responding to Goodnight Spoon saying, I watched
Yeah,
Welding Gone. JR says Jim
Wendigoon.
Jones was the mass suicide in Guyana guy. Okay. I just know there's all sorts of things. And, well, I was pretty sure it wasn't Jim Jones, but I just couldn't remember. Jim Jones was just the name that came to mind. They're they're both guys that led a bunch of people into committing suicide or whatever.
Yeah, well,
All
that's actually
time,
one of
some
the
sort of
funniest
cult.
parts about this particular one is that Koresh wasn't even the guy who founded the cult. He took it from somebody else.
Yeah. uh, Goodnight Spoon says he just watched a Wendigoon's doc on it. Okay. And he says, I
No,
am
he's
on
just
live.
telling you
Oh,
to just watch Wendigoon's doc on it,
oh, okay.
which I agree with. That's a much simpler way than doing all the reading. Is that he kind of streamlines it for you.
Yeah. Goodnight Spoon says, I am on live chat. I know I can fix it by refreshing. I'm enjoying the illusion that he's hidden from me intentionally.
You would probably like Wendigoon. He's a nice and hearty Christian.
Okay. Is it a YouTube channel?
Yes. It's
Okay.
like the word Wendigo, but the end is turned into goon.
Ah, yeah, I sort of noticed that similarity. JR says Wendy Goon is a fantastic example of what cultural charismatic Christian culture who mixes that vibe with great narratives.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it.
Let's see. Goodnight Spoon says, "Whoa, back on topic. What are you bringing with you from Canada for John, or am I?" Says Timothy. Oh yeah, I forgot he was religious. Jared says, "I love religious mythology. I think Rick will hate him." Says Goodnight Spoon. Timothy says, I can say anything. I can say anything about Goodnight Spoon, and he can't do anything about it." Yes, he can. He can retort back after I've read what you've said. But I don't know what I'm bringing. Well, I'm bringing comics, of course, but they're to sell, of course. Bringing um business cards, bringing a bunch of different things. Um, well, trading cards. I don't know what else I'm bringing. I'm trying to limit
Gonna
a lot
bring
of
some
what.
Magic the Gathering cards so you can fight random strangers on the bus.
No, that's that I get Yu-Gi-Oh cards for.
Yeah, I think Magic the Gathering is just safer. You're more likely to find somebody who actually plays it.
I don't play, so I have no idea what I'm doing. Timothy's blah. Timothy's also. What am I saying? Good night, Spoon. You will never know. Blah. uh, but I'm pro. I'm trying to travel as late as I can. I might bring some Canada paraphernalia. Go to the dollar store, buy a bunch of Canadian stuff that's got the maple leaf on it, and all that.
It's just a carton of Canadian cigarettes.
Well,
No, you
that
should do.
I could
Right.
actually probably bring a pack.
Yeah, you could.
Be,
But you could also just make sure you bring him menthols at all and sneak them into the state. You have no problem bringing them into the states, but California has banned the sale on menthols, so you could just have it in your bag. Nobody's gonna check you across the Californian border,
yeah,
and just actually give him a pack of menthols.
yeah, I could do that. Yeah, just put it in my thing, my backpack or my one of my bags that I'm bringing with me. Uh, Goodnight Spoon said that, and I could stop him whether or not I can see him. So kind of a moot point. I'm not sure how you could stop him. You're both mods.
He says couldn't.
Uh, oh, couldn't I couldn't stop him whether I could see him or not. So kind of moot point. Yeah, you're both mods. Goodnight Soon suggested the carton of menthol cigarettes. Get him a carton of menthols. Timothy says, "Careful when you cross the border, Rick. I've read about people being turned back at the border after saying they were attending comic conventions to work without a visa." Does he smoke menthol? Ask Goodnight Spoon. 2 curtains, that is.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
He always talks about it, and
Yeah.
he's also always complaining that they stopped selling menthols.
Um.
Which I had my roommate smoked menthols, I believe for the same reason, because I've talked to Dillard about this before, and it was because he used to hang out with a bunch of black kids when he was younger, and that's what all the black kids smoke was menthols. And I had a Hispanic roommate that had the exact same reason. He hung out with a bunch of black kids, and that's why he started smoking menthols.
Well, I can easily say I'm going. Well, one part that's true is I'm going to visit a friend, and then we're going to be going to a con together, a Christian Comic Con. And the books are for him to sell.
It said I didn't realize menthol was illegal only in California. They can't sell it anymore.
Well, there might be a couple other places too, but for sure California.
Yeah, well, in the States, I don't know if any other state has started doing something like that, but Cali has.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Their excuse is because menthols are worse for you because they have a cleaner um I don't know what the term would be for it, but they go down cleaner, right? Because of like that whole menthol mint flavor, which means you can smoke more, right? That's the excuse they're giving, that you end up smoking more when smoking menthols than normal cigarettes. It sounds like a really dumb excuse, but that's the one that the legislative gave.
Okay. Because it is. Because I know people who don't smoke menthol and they smoke one after another. They're chain smokers.
Yeah.
JR says, don't mention the con. Stick with visiting a friend. No complications. Yeah, but they might be wondering about all the comic books. Although they're not gonna. Well, it depends on whether they open, how much they open up and inspect the comic books, noticing they're all the same, or a lot of them are the same. You know, like there's three basic comics, maybe four if I include the Elric's cover.
They also banned e-liquids, e-juices, pods, or any other vaping slash
Yeah.
tobacco product that contained flavored liquid.
Um, Although it's a different border I went across last time 5 years ago. Um, and obviously will be different guards. I mentioned about the con last time when I went across. Now I'm not sure whether I said I was working it or whatever, but I forget exactly. But I had an extension cord in my thing, and they asked about that. Said it's extension cord. I'm going to a Christian Comic Con in L.A. You know, so you're right. It could be a problem or it could not. I'm not sure.
I feel like, okay, he says, let's brainstorm other Canadian treasures you could smuggle into California. And he says, like, Timbits. I feel like Timbits would go bad. Or at least be kind of like crunchy by the time you made it.
They'd be stale.
Yeah, by the time you made it to California. That's a pretty long trip.
Yeah. Well, it's a couple days. Actually,
And they're made
technically,
by the day. Like they throw out day old Timbits.
yeah. Well, also depending, although I'm probably not going to end up near one. They do have Tim Hortons in the States. I doubt there's any near California though. I know when I was at
No, it's always the northern states.
the Buffalo bus station, they had a Timmy's right in there. Does Timmy's make menthol coffee grounds? No.
Probably not.
Um, Although I wouldn't want to try this. I've heard, or I'm not sure, well, I've heard that they're not anymore, but Kinder Surprise. I heard they're illegal in the States, but I've actually heard recently that they're allowing them in again, but I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much all the Tim Hortons are around the Great Lakes, as expected, with a couple up in like say like Maine or whatever in the
Yeah.
New England area. Which is
Yeah.
funny though. At 242 restaurants, that puts it over a third. 38% of Tim Hortons are in the United States.
232 of them are?
242. So that's
For
38% of all Tim Hortons are in the United States.
I would think we have a lot more than that. Well, in Canada. Well, we have a lot more than that, but you know what I mean, I think.
Yeah, well, you should. You should have almost two times that.
Yeah, but I would think we'd have a lot more than two times that. Heck, Hamilton alone, Hamilton alone probably has half of that. Well, maybe not half, but close. Hamilton has a lot of Tim Hortons. Well, Tim Hortons was founded here in Hamilton as well. So there's probably 50 Tim Hortons in Hamilton.
Let's see. So counting all that have ever been opened, I can't find an active list of how many they have. But the ones that they've had total, many of these are closed. It's 5,352. But that
Okay.
also includes, again, many of them have been closed by now. That also includes that they've been in Bahrain, Canada, China, Egypt, India, Kuwait, Mexico, Oman, Pakistan, Philippines, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Thailand, United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, and the United States.
Wow. That's a lot of places.
Yeah.
But again, probably I'd say the only one, maybe 2,000 of those would be outside Canada. I would think, anyways. I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
um, but like I said, there's probably like 50 in Hamilton alone. Um, let's see. There's one right by me. Then there's you go Main Street over. There's another one. Then you get downtown. There's like three, three of them. No, four. There's two in one mall. Then just down the street from the mall, there's one. Well, there's one both ways just down the street. Then down the street and around the corner, there's another one.
Yeah, that's not surprising. In any major city areas like that, it's like I think there's like 100 Starbucks in New York City or something like that.
Oh yeah, but you know that is a really big city. Hamilton's only five
Yeah.
hundred thousand people.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, like, it's not surprising in any big city that you have like that many.
Uh, yeah, but if you go other places, yeah, there's a lot of coffee shops, but there's not quite as many Tim Hortons. Hey, Mike, how are you? Thanks for dropping in to say hit the like and sharing and saying hi. Does Canada make maple flavored cigarettes? I don't think so, but I wouldn't put it past somebody.
I'm
I'm
pretty
sure.
sure you can get maple flavored cigars, or what's the other one? It's more like cigarettes. They call them cigarellos, right? Because you can get flavored versions of that, where it's closer to the size of a cigarette, but it's got like a cigar wrapping to it.
Yeah.
I had a roommate who used to get them, and you could get maple flavored that in the U.S. They probably have it in Canada too.
Tim
Yeah.
Hortons in
Well, unless that site was wrong and they're saying it was 38% of the ones outside of Canada, but it just said 38%.
I could more see that. Uh,
It says he's sorry that he doesn't know more about Canada or things that John likes. Well, if you also want to suggest things that'll spoil by the time they get there, he could just bring a sack of poutine with him. That would be so soggy, though, by the time you got there. It would be nasty.
oh, this Scrape Hero. It says Scrap Hero. Says there are 3,523 locations in Canada in 13 provinces and territories.
Well,
And
if that's
then,
true, then the other figure would look more like 38% of those outside of Canada are in
yeah,
the US.
yeah, and then in 628 cities, there are 1,777 in Ontario. 50% of all Tim Hortons are in Ontario, in Canada. Uh, Toronto has
You could,
162. Oh,
could bring
Hamilton.
him snow.
I
You
can't
can bring
bring
an ice
snow. There's no
chest.
snow here right now, at least where I am.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go north first with an ice chest and then bring the snow all the way down.
Yeah, and it'd be melted by the time I got there. Let's see. Hamilton has 65 Tim Hortons.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me,
Yeah.
like, at
Meanwhile,
all.
Toronto, which is got like 2 or 3 million people, only has 162.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing about cities, though, and that's why I said there's a diminishing return on population size because it's also about distance walked. Because cities are basically designed that if you live somewhere, everything you need between like boutiques and smaller like corner stores and stuff like that. I forget what's the term that they use in New York. I'm forgetting,
Good night, Spoon says
but
yes.
like, oh, you say what you're saying.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, cities are designed that everything's in walking distance, right?
Yeah.
So less so the population of the city and more so the square footage of the city will determine like how many of a like coffee shop there are because everywhere you live there needs to be a coffee shop in like walking distance.
Yeah. Well, like I said, there's a lot
Yeah.
more coffee shops. I believe um, Toronto would have a lot more of one that's called Coffee Time, or at least there was one. I think that's what it was called. And then, of course, they'd have a lot of Starbucks and other ones. Uh, Good Night Spoon says, yes, bring gourmet poutine. Well, I think the poutine would not make it all the way there. I'm sorry. The poutine would not make it. The poutine would not make it even out of Canada. I'm pretty sure you can find
Bodego.
poutine in,
Bodego was the term I was looking for.
uh, which is basically a convenience store, right?
Yeah, like a small grocery store, convenience store in a city. I knew it's like boutiques and bodegos. Those are the two things that go together. They're smaller stores, usually owned by like a family or an individual or whatever. Uh, all of those need to be in walking distance. There's always going to be some type of
Yeah,
store that sells what you need in a city within like a 10 to 15-minute walk.
yeah. Good night, Susan. I'm pretty sure you can find poutine in a box at a grocery store. No, you cannot.
It would be disgusting, right? Like there are liquid components to poutine, basically, that would like make the thing soggy before you even get a chance to cook it. I mean, at best, you could get it in like I guess different packages, right? Like the was it like the cheese could be in a specific package, or whatever, and then you could just assemble it yourself after you cook the fries. I don't know.
The closest you might have to it being sort of like he said is there's a branch. Well, there's probably more than just this branch, but there's a branch of grocery stores called Fortino's here, and they're really upscale. They have a little bit of a small restaurant in it, so they serve it in a box. You could probably buy it from the counter that serves food there. You know,
Yeah,
pre-made food.
but they're probably selling it in a box in the same way that like if you go to a bakery and you get like a cake or something baked that day, it's in a box, or like
Yeah,
donuts are in a box.
yeah, or like McDonald's or something like that. Some
Yeah.
fast food joint. A new idea. He says bring a Canadian alcohol, Canadian tobacco, and something else. I'm up for suggestions. Yeah, well, I don't want to be bringing too much of that stuff over the border. Otherwise, I might not be getting over the
Yeah, I
border.
mean, I'm not going to be surprised necessarily if Kraft does have poutine. I'm just saying it's going to have to be like I guess like their mac and cheese where the otherwise liquid substances are in like a bag and you have to add water to it or something. There's no
Yeah,
way it comes pre-made.
yeah, because the liquid in it is, or liquidish substance is gravy.
Yeah, which gravy is one of the liquid substances I think of. I know some poutine is the melted cheese is in there too, depending on what they're serving. And
Yeah, well, see, the gravy is supposed to melt the cheese.
yeah,
It's supposed to be hot enough to melt the cheese. Um, and it's supposed to be, although there are varying variations on poutine, but classic poutine is supposed to be cheese curds, which are have gravy over them to melt them. He says, I'm going to Google crafts poutine in a box. And if I find something, well,
But even
I
a lot of
have
craft
sent,
stuff is just awful.
I have sent Dillard some stuff before for Canada. I sent him a Canadian geography puzzle, a small one for his kid, but apparently she ate it and ruined it.
Based.
And apparently, I also did send them some socks, Canadian socks, and apparently she grew them or something happened to them. I forget what. Good Night Spoon says gourmet du village poutine sauce mix box. Give me my money.
What
um,
money?
I don't think any real Canadian would eat that.
Probably not. It sounds like something you'd
Uh,
sell to tourists, like people who are new to the town from like out of the country or whatever, or passing through.
like I've seen some Americans make poutine or whatever on their channels or whatever or
But you know what?
or
Dillard
on
wouldn't
some,
know the difference.
and I look at that and I'm like, that's not poutine. That's just disgusting. That's not
I
poutine.
was just saying he might be onto something though. Dillard may not know the difference.
Yet Dillard won't know the difference, but I would know the difference, and I could not, in good conscience, serve him something like that. Good Night Spoon says Amazon.com St. Hubert's poutine gravy mix, 52 grams, 1.8 ounces, 3 pack. Yeah, well, that's just to make the gravy for poutine. You can get quote unquote cans that have the it made up. It's
You could
supposed to
just make the
be,
gravy yourself too.
yeah,
Like gravy's not hard to make.
that would be so much better. But the funny thing is, one of the best places that I find to get poutine here is at a fast food joint, and ironically enough, it's called New York Fries.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah. I don't know whether there is a New York Fries in New York.
Probably not. So you don't normally get places that are named after other places in that place, right? So like there's this good chain. I think maybe locally they finally named it the same just to be consistent. But there's a chain called Jersey Mike's that you can get in most of the United States. The original store in New Jersey, in what's it, Point Pleasant, maybe? I forget the name of it, but it's over on the sea, was called Mike's. Right, it was just called Mike's, and then when they made it a chain other places, they called it Jersey Mike's.
uh, let's see. Good Night Soon says, but California isn't real America, and you don't mind. Yes, I do. If
No,
I'm
you don't
going to
mind that
get,
California isn't real America.
oh, and if I'm gonna serve somebody poutine based on my recommendations or whatever you want to say, I'm making sure they have real poutine, not some of this fake wannabe crap.
Well, I was gonna say, if there's some time that you're actually going to be in town, in the future for more than just a few hours, like you'll have to be here for the day or whatever,
Yeah,
then we'll go get like Spring Creek barbecue or something sometime and get some
yeah.
brisket.
Well, hopefully I will be going
You know,
around a lot more often in the near future to various cons. I'd like to do a Dallas or Fort Worth con.
I know Nerd Wonder wants to do like an indie comics con or whatever.
Yeah,
Or like I think it was maybe just been an indie creators con or something. I'm not sure, but it was
yeah,
supposed to be for like small creators in this general area. I'm like, yeah. If you ever want to do that, contact me. I'll help set that up because that's something I want to do too.
yeah,
If that happens, it would be cool if we could schedule you coming into town for around then.
yeah. Uh, Yeah, it's just finding somewhere to stay, hopefully cheap or free.
Yeah.
I'm glad to gold belly some poutine, and if it's not supremely superior to my local poutine. Have you tried poutine, Goodnight Spoon, where you are? You might act from where I know where you are. You might actually have gotten some decent poutine, although you're in the states. You're down from just down from basically where it was made. Oh, I'm about to glad belly some.
Gold belly.
Well, he's glad. Well, you put glad.
No, no, he's asking glad because you said I'm glad to gold belly. You didn't even say about. He's like wondering why you said glad. Glad's not even in the
Oh,
previous sentence at all.
well, I had said gold when I read the previous sentence the first time, which uh, made me wonder why he said gold. Gold. I'm about to gold belly some. That didn't make sense to me. Yes, I've had local poutine and Nova Scotia poutine. Oh, okay. Well, Nova Scotia poutine is probably on the money. Um, was there much difference between the Nova Scotia one and the local one? Oh, Gold Belly. Oh, I guess it's a restaurant or something. Open in there.
It's a
Okay.
marketplace.
I look at this. The top ones that are saying 10 to 12 are right with the cheese curds, but these ones that got like shredded cheese are just wrong. Although technically, I guess they could be a version of, because Rick, I was four and I have no idea.
No, I don't know. There could be some brands. I don't know how Canada is when it comes to prepackaged food or food you prepare.
Yeah,
A lot of the American stuff is just awful. Like you get something from Kraft, and it's like it'll get you through the day, but it's not like if you made it from scratch.
yeah,
But if there are any Canadian brands that are close to how Asians do packaged food, the Asians like go out of their way to make sure that their packaged preparation food is like on par with something your mom would make. Like if you
yeah.
want to get a curry mix for anything, you could just go and get an Asian brand curry mix and it tastes like actual curry is supposed to taste.
She says I was four. I have no idea. Well, how was I supposed to know you were four? You never said that till just then. Um, actually, some these look like these are the variation type things on poutine. And that one picture says it serves 10 to 12. Unless it's a lot bigger than it looks. That picture does not look that big. That looks like big enough to serve one, maybe two at best. But the shredded cheese is not usually you see how um, poutine is done.
Speaking of, I want to make curry because I haven't had it in a while. But the thing is, my dad refuses to eat curry, and
Uh,
I don't want to make it if I'm the only one. I have to see if maybe my brothers will eat it too. And the reason is because he had an Indian household down the street from him growing up. There's sometimes, they'd go over because they have friends and they'd eat. And he's only ever had Indian curry and he hates it.
uh,
Right. And I was like, there's other types of curry, right? Like it's a widely spread thing all throughout Asia. And he had is such a bad experience only ever eating like spicy Indian curry that
uh.
he just refuses to eat it ever again.
I didn't know there was more than just the one. I've, of course, eaten lots of Indian curry and I like it.
Yeah.
Rick, I can't see what you're looking at. I'm looking at the page that you linked there. Good night, Spoon. Timothy says, poutine, gross. Then he says, Good night, Spoon says, We have corporate visitors from Japan occasionally who prefer American sushi because the fish is better here. I responded to the next one. Rick, I can't see what you're saying or what you're looking at. Good Night Spoon says, I have Japanese curry mix. I've been meaning to make it for years.
Is it like S&B Golden Curry? Because that's the brand I like. Japanese curry mix is great. It is. But I could see, yeah, the fish is better here from what I've heard, just because our fishing market. But there's mixed opinions, right? So like if you're somebody, I guess corporate, right? You're going to be having a fancier sit down. That's probably fine. I know a lot of people who, on the, I guess, more casual end, hate American sushi places because it's not the same. We don't have like the whole sit down conveyor belt thing. So it's like, while the fish might be a higher quality, the experience is something that some people just don't like because it's different. Personally, I'm fine with like a sushi buffet or sit down sushi place, and I don't know why people are so picky about it.
Good Night Spoon says, ban Timothy for that. No one smack talks poutine in front of me where I can't see. I can't see. And then Timothy's poutine again. But then again, maybe it does serve 10 to 12 because this kit is $115 and that's probably American, so
I would never eat poutine.
why?
I don't like gravy. Not a
Oh,
gravy guy.
okay, well, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Well, there are variations of it without the gravy, like
Like, I mean, I will eat gravy, but it's like I put up with it when it's already in a meal. I'm not going to go out of my way to eat something that has gravy on it.
yeah, like a lot. Like, do you well, they hopefully have it. Do you like buttered chicken,
Buttered chicken.
or have you even heard of that?
I wouldn't say I like it. I'll eat it. You
Because
know, it's like it's food.
yeah. Okay. Well, they're New York Fries, and I think a few other places, but New York Fries I know mainly has done poutine with buttered chicken instead of with gravy. So you
I mean,
still
it's
have the
butter. I'll never not eat butter.
yeah. Well, by buttered chicken, I'm not even sure whether it's butter on it. It's um.
Unless what you call butter chicken is different than what we call butter chicken. There's a. You're talking about the Indian dish, right?
I'm not
It's
sure.
almost like a curry in a way. It's like in a buttered sauce.
Yeah, it's not just butter.
It's it's almost like orange.
Yeah, it's thicker. I know you can't see this, but
Oh, it is S&B. I love S&B. That's a good one.
let's see. Let's see. New York fries. There, buttered chicken poutine. Let me browser.
But like in my opinion, like if we're talking about the Indian dish, right? Butter chicken crosses past the point of gravy and more into like full on stew.
Okay, so I need to come over to Discord and I need to. Oh, I didn't want to do that.
Like it is practically a curry.
Okay, so that's whatever. Okay, so there is a New York fries with buttered chick. It's a buttered chicken poutine.
I have to tab back over. I had YouTube up. Yeah, that orangish color, that does look close to the Indian dish buttered chicken. So I think we're talking about the same thing.
There's a
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be as bad though. Like I said, that we're crossing out of the territory of gravy and more into like stews and curries and stuff.
yeah.
I might try that.
Yeah, and again, except for the gravy, everything's the same. It's got that buttered chicken thing there. And then they've had braised beef and
Oh, you mentioned beef.
yeah, there's let's see what
Rick, that is disgusting. Why would you use that as the idea to sell the idea of poutine? It's probably because I don't like gravy.
well, see, the
Yeah,
problem
but like I
is,
said,
oh,
I'm not even super into butter chicken. I said I might try that. It's something like I would eat if I was over at somebody's house, like say an Indian family, and they were serving it to me. I would eat it.
yeah. See, the thing is, a lot of people look at poutine and it to them it looks gross, and to me it doesn't. It's I don't even think about that. I don't care sometimes what the food looks like. It's what it tastes like, and
Yeah.
poutine is heavenly.
Well, see, if I didn't have the gravy and you literally just melted cheese curds on fry, I'd totally be happy with that. I love potatoes.
Yeah. This is, I think, the works. Uh, that's poutine perfect it. I actually have on my the black goo looks yuck too. But that's just I think gravy. If you go to um on my other channel, the Pied Piper of Hamilton, I actually do a poutine. I think it's there. I do a poutine from New
I'm
York
gonna make my
Fries.
own poutine. It may or may not disgust you, but I'll do it. I'll make a roux out of beef fat, right? Like you'd be making beef stew. It'll be a gravy replacement. Gravy and roux aren't that different from each other, right? I'll make a roux from beef fat. I'll get some cheese curd to melt on top of it, whole milk cheese curd, and put it on some Western fried French fries, and boom, I'll Texas poutine right there for you.
Okay. They say, and I don't know. Again, I don't know how true this is, so I'm not going to say the cheese curds need to be able to squeak. I've never heard of cheese curds squeaking, so that's a little foreign to me. So, squeaky cheese curds, go figure. I don't know what. Good Night Spoon says I need to be a better poutine salesman.
Probably.
I don't care about being a poutine salesman. I just want to eat the stuff. And I'll just say, somebody here, taste it. Don't shut your eyes and taste it.
Well, I think my problem is like I don't even think I probably hate gravy. I think it's just the way people make gravy now. Because gravy used to have fat in it, right? Like that's what you used
Yeah.
to use to thicken up gravy. A lot of things used to have like creams and fats to thicken it up. But because of the whole like craze of people saying like fat is bad for you, a lot of like gravy mix that you get from the store is starch based, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to be adding more starch to my meals. If you give me like a traditional cream gravy, I'd probably eat it.
Uh, Good Night Spoon says, Rick, make more poutine videos. Do all the varieties like that kid in the suit whose disappointment was immeasurable and his day was ruined. Okay, I have no idea what you're
Um,
talking about. Rick, we have a long way to
oh,
go before I make you my poutine sales. Good. I don't plan on
you
being
don't
your
know
poutine.
Review Bra? Report of the week?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's such a good. So Review Bruh, right? His channel's Report of the Week. He has like he sits in a suit. It's a skinny guy, and he will review like fast food items and stuff, right? Or grocery store pizzas and stuff. And he will sit there in his suit and do like a professional review of this otherwise like you cheaper garbage food. And that's you've probably seen the meme version where he'll eat something. I think it might have been like a DiGiorno pizza. I don't remember what he was reviewing when the meme came from, but he's just like, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
Okay.
It's a great channel.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, there was a long time, about 10 years back, there was a place near, well, not so near me, but well, close to me. It was in the same city and not too far away by bus that had like,
Running on empty food review. Okay.
they had 50 to 100 different poutines. Unfortunately, that place went out of business. There was another one that I recently found, and I forget where that had, like 25 or 30 of them.
Yeah, there we go. The report of the week. You got the channel right there.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Yet he goes on to eat it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't think that's this. It says Mortinus.
No, no, that's somebody just did the clip, but the actual it says original channel in there. The report of the week, the actual link to the original channels there. It was the Popeyes chicken sandwich. That's what it was. Which I think that one, yeah, that's still in popular videos. It's one of the most popular ones. It's 6.9 million views. Popeye cheddar biscuit butterfly shrimp sandwich.
Joshua. Dang it! I clicked away to grab the link, and now I can see Timothy. It says good night, spoon. Oh, Joshua is here too. Yeah, well, he just said something. Well, he might have been here lurking for a while. Who knows?
Yeah. It's that's a great channel. Been subscribed for a long time.
Almost reminds me of my well, I did a slightly different thing, like with my Canadian snack foods or whatever.
Yeah.
Although mine are a little not quite as long.
No, I'm a little disappointed that you didn't call it Canadian Snack Time after the Bare Naked Ladies album.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
I could change it.
Yeah. You should listen to that album. It's a good album. It's jokingly, but also kind of genuinely more child friendly than most of their albums. And by child friendly, I mean like children could listen to like almost any Bare Naked Lady song, but it's like targeting children. It
Yeah.
sounds very childlike.
Oh, and that's something I meant to. Rick is anti-culture. No, I just grew up in a different culture, we'll say. There goes me on this. Let's see.
I think I actually have a lot of the lyrics to some of those songs memorized too. There's a really fun song called "Raisins" on there.
Okay, virtual cam, just so you can see what I'm showing. So, I think I said this yesterday or showed this yesterday. Well, I've changed things a little, the layout. Although this links page, it's working to go to it, but it's not linked yet. It's just my contact page. I need to get things started on it. But under the original art to buy, I now have. Well, there's a lot of stuff as people can see here. Not everything,
Yeah.
mind you, but I have the John Dillard last page of Snowdrift 1 there. $350 Canadian. And then, of course, there's my cover for Canadian Shield 1, the stuff that I drew, which I'm saying $100, $150, I should say. I'm not sure whether they'll sell anytime soon, but Although somebody did buy one of each comic today
That's
from
good.
me. Although it was somebody I'd talked to in person, so and I've got to mail it to them, so you know that was 30 bucks Canadian that I got. So although I might give them back like $5 or something like that because the three comics are not going to cost me. I don't think they're going to cost me $15 to ship. Depends on how much. I'll see when I get it. I'm waiting to hear back from them. But I wanted to know whether they want it signed and where. If they do,
Rick, as a supposedly proud Canadian, why don't you listen to the Bare Naked Ladies?
uh, probably just because I haven't listened to a lot of mainstream music.
You know, they wrote a they weren't happy with the Canadian national anthem, so they wrote their own.
Oh, I
It's
think
called
I've.
Canada's Really Big.
Oh, okay, it's not Canadian anthem. There's
No, no, no. It's just called Canada's Really Big. It's a great song.
and then okay, and then of course there's my T-shirts, T-shirt designs. I gotta get it so it doesn't do that question mark thing when you go over these. And then of course you can get the comics on here too. I actually redesigned this so digital up top, and then for shipping within Canada, shipping to the States, and then worldwide, just to make it easier for people, depending on which book they want. You know, that way, if you're in Canada, all you have to do is look under Canada, right? Or if you don't actually want it shipped to you, all you have to do is just look under digital.
Yeah, yeah. Or if you want to be more cultured, you can listen to the Bare Naked Ladies.
And something else people should do if they haven't done is go over to Fund My Comic and go get a book called Melvin 3 because yours truly is the inker on it and inker and colorer of the cover as well.
No, yeah. Tim actually sent me the review copies for the first two Melvins. I just had to bug my guy to actually read them and do a review about it.
Yeah, well, doesn't he need to get done that other one that he
I'm
hasn't?
I'm basically I'm telling him, right? He's got like 2 days to get it out, right? And after that, I'm like, you're dropping it. It's been well over a month. You're clearly not finishing this. Either put it out as it is or drop it and just start something else.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you can't. You got to do something that you're happy with, but not perfect at the same time. Otherwise,
Oh yeah.
you're never gonna get it out.
I don't even think it's about being perfect. I think it's because he went into the thing expecting to be angry enough to rip it apart, and then it was just so like slightly below average that it wasn't even worth writing about by the time we got halfway through the article. And it's like, where do I go from here?
Yeah, well, that's yeah. Good Night Spoon loves me. Laugh out loud, says Timothy. Um, well, that's why if you're gonna review a book, do it honestly. Yeah, you might think you're gonna hate it going into it, but that's some ways a lot of these movies that I go see. Yeah, I hate especially if there's superhero stuff that I know about. I
Yeah.
like I go to them. I try and watch them as a movie. Yes, I can pick them apart for the or somewhat apart depending on the character that for how it doesn't measure up to DC or Marvel's character. But beyond that, like if you can take it apart from that, how was the movie? You know, as a movie, how bad or good was it? How much of an agenda are they pushing or whatever, all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do think he was kind of overthinking it to some degree.
Yeah. Joshua says, why does the Newgrounds Summer Fest Day 2 stream have 18,000 views when the other streams have like less than 1,000?
Oh, that's because Palo was on that day. The creator of Spooky Month with Pumpkin Skids. That's why there was a super huge creator on that day, and we didn't have anyone near as big on the other ones. So it happens when you have festivals like that. It's that whenever the day the super big guy is, that's going to have more views than everything else.
Timothy's, wait, what happened? Was it bad review? No, we're not talking about Melvin being a bad review. It has yet to be reviewed, right? Any of them? Melvin?
Yeah, no, none of them have been reviewed. We're talking he's held up on a previous review before he gets to anything else. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
One I didn't even ask him to do. He's like, I just want to start out with this. And like, okay. He wanted to trash I'm Not Starfire. Right? That was going to be the first thing he wanted to review. I'm like, why? He's like, because I want to trash it. Then he went and he read I'm Not Starfire. And he's like, I mean, this is bad, but it's not even bad enough to trash. It's kind of just disappointing. And then he got stuck halfway through the review and never finished it.
Oh, is that what he was talking about? I thought you were talking about.
Yeah. No, we weren't talking about Melvin. No.
Oh, I was like, oh, wait, what happened now? Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, no.
Timothy is relieved.
He has not read any of the other books I've sent him yet, which I've only sent him 2 because I haven't sent him yours yet. And he's just been well, you only just got him to me, so I haven't had time to send it to him. But yeah, no, he's hung up on one, and I told him I gave him till the end of this month to finish it. And if he's not happy with it, he can either choose for me to make it live anyway or to just not do it, and then he's got to move on to other things.
Yeah. Well, you've got the copy of Canadian Shield Remastered. That's all good, right?
Yes, I already sent that to him.
Okay.
That's one of the 2.
I've just got I gotta redo number 2 and Snowdrift 1 and get them to you.
Yeah.
I just want to resize them. And I've got to do that in the next week or so because before I go down to Dillard's, I want to have all that done. That way I can have them on a flash drive sitting here on my table. And if I need my mom to go get my printer to print up some on my way back, I can say, Mom, go do it.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that, but I think
Yeah.
it was like after we weren't live anymore last time or the time
Yeah.
before that. I don't remember.
Yeah, a couple times ago. Yeah.
Make her sound like she's a temp worker. Like you get the coffee not as hot as you want, and you throw it back at her or something. What is this?
Well, it's just because it's hard for me. Like as soon as I get back, like I get back on a Wednesday night, I think Wednesday or Thursday night. I think it's Wednesday night, like 8 o'clock, and Saturday I've got another con right in Hamilton. But if I need more books printed up, I'm probably not going to have the time to do that.
Plus, temp worker is not the appropriate term, right? It's for the most permanent worker. She brought him into the world. She's there for the long haul.
I'm just saying, it's just like, damn, what is she, like an employee or something? Like, hey, I told you to make where's the copies I asked for a few hours ago?
Well, heck, it's something that I do myself, but I can't be in Texas and like Ontario at the same time.
Yeah, you can't. I've tried. I just can't. I've tried projecting over there. No,
Doesn't happen
not yet. Anyway, maybe I'll figure it out someday.
You know,
someday.
and I could call the guy, and I can call him and let him know, hey, my mom's gonna be coming over with a flash drive with this, and this. This is what I want. You know.
So this is kind of almost like a cross comics tour, isn't it? You're going into the U.S. You're staying at this place. You're doing a con there. You're going back to Canada to do another con. Huh?
Well, almost, yeah. Well,
Mm.
well, the 8th, 7th and 8th of September. Let me figure it out.
Hey Rick, are you
Yeah,
are you anti-
8th and 9th of September. I'm doing something here called Super Crawl. That's right in the city.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I can set up a free table at it, and try and sell my wares, and then
Where's
I'm leaving the Monday after that to go to uh, Alpha Omega Con in the States there. And
oh,
then,
oh, so you're going back to the States for a second
no, no,
appearance.
no, no, like I'm not going to the States till the 11th.
Oh, well, you're still going back to the States after you've been to the States.
Yeah, I guess you could say I've been to the States a lot. Last time I was to the States was like 5 years ago or something like that.
Huh. Why such a long wait to go back to the States?
Well, part of it
COVID?
was, yeah, part of it was that for sure. Um, just didn't have the money, didn't have anything to really sell. Well, I actually had paid to go to Alpha Omega Con, I think the year after I was there or 2 years after, but I couldn't get the money for bus fare. So actually, I
Uh,
had a few cons around that time that I paid to be at, and well, I didn't get the money to go to them, and I didn't really have anything physical to sell. So actually, I
hmm.
did a crowdfunding on Kickstarter around then to try and print up things. Hey, Captain Finity says, Peter, not Finity. He says, no icons. What do you mean?
Um,
So,
well, I don't have an icon. Metal kind of does.
I
yeah,
do have an icon.
yeah,
Maybe he
and
just doesn't want to see icons. I don't know.
and there's my face. So yeah, after that, after Supercrawl, it's to Alpha Omega Con, back to Hamilton for Hamilton Comic Con, and then back to the States. Well, not right back to the States. A couple days later, like I think I can leave on the Thursday. No, I think I'm leaving on the Friday to get to Minneapolis, Minnesota for a
Oh,
1 day con, and then like it's literally going to be 48 hours. I'm taking the bus to the Minneapolis, getting off the bus, going to the con, do the con, pack up, get back to the bus station, back on the bus, and back to Canada.
Yeah, if it wasn't on the opposite side of the state, and also if it wasn't the horrible city of Minneapolis, Buck probably would go to see you. But
Yeah. Well, it's
again,
in
he's closer to the other side of the state than he is to Minneapolis. So
yeah. Well, it's in I think the suburbs because the advertisement says Maplewood, Minnesota.
maybe,
I
but it's also still far away. Like that might be
yeah,
enough that if he was closer, he would go because God, nobody wants to be in Minneapolis, but it's still on the other side of the state.
yeah. But that's one that it's I'm there. I'm literally there for just a con. And then I get back from that, and 2 weeks later, I'm down in Athol, Massachusetts, and
That's a
hopefully,
huge distance away from each other.
yeah. Well, that I'm gonna be home for like 2 weeks after the
Yeah, and I
Minneapolis.
guess it's also a shorter distance if you're going through Canada because of the way like the curvature is.
I
If
think
you have to pass by the Great Lakes, that's a long distance. If you're like going home first and then going there, that's actually a pretty short distance comparatively.
Yeah. Well, the stupid thing is, depending on if I did it the way that they want it to,
Yeah,
I'd be going all the way down to New York City and then back up to Boston area to get, or that area.
that is pretty dumb. Why can't you just go from like Buffalo to Boston? I don't know. Why is that not a trip?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm doing it my way. I'm get myself to Albany, and then I'll go from Albany to
Yeah, or Albany. That would work too. Yeah. Yeah.
then I'm going to Albany, from Albany to Greenfield, and then I think I can take a city type bus or whatever.
Holy
to have
shit! I said, "Holy shit!" Rick's showing us all up. I kind of going all over North America.
Yeah. Who's they?
What
Who,
was I
what?
saying? What was I?
The trip they want you to go to New York. Who's they?
Oh, like
Mhm.
the bus company.
Oh, okay.
You know, like I go to Greyhound and I say, okay, I want to go from this place to this place, and it says, oh, the trip it's gonna take it's gonna take 24 hours, and we're gonna send you down to New York City, and then we're gonna take you up to Boston. It's like, really? And Goodnight Spoon says, "Take it, Joshua," because they both said who's they at the same time, practically. And Joshua just laughs. So it's just like,
No, there's a reason why Joshua is the leader of the cult of Raven.
Because nobody else wants to be the leader of the Cult of Raven? Question
Well,
mark.
he's also always first.
I thought Dillard was the leader because he bought the
No.
rights.
He just paid the rights to the name for $1. That's it.
Yeah. But so yeah, I'm gonna go down to Albany, go over to Greenfield, and then over. Um, uh, if somebody doesn't show up or can't show up in Athol for the Saturday, I was thinking of maybe going down to Springfield on my way home.
You ever think about taking a trip across the pond to the other side of the world for the Comic Cons over there?
Yeah, when I can afford it. I can barely
Yeah,
afford
that's
these
super
ones.
expensive.
Yeah. Well, start saving up.
Hey, I've got some people over there. Well, I've had people in England buy my book, people in Finland, people in
Yeah.
Australia.
Boy.
But I've had lots more people in the States, so a few people in Canada. So I want to start getting big in Canada and the States, and I'll just mail people stuff for.
Currently, no fans on Mars.
Yeah.
Doesn't he want to be big in Japan? Tom Watts reference.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'll be big wherever I can, and like if I'm getting money, then I'll go. Or if somebody wants to pay my way, then I'll go. You want to pay my way to England, Tim?
No, I don't.
He barely wants to pay his own way to England.
Why would I want to go to England?
For a con.
Well, yeah, if there's a con there, I probably would go, but I haven't even done one
You
con
get
yet.
into a fist fight with Johnny Rotten.
He's an old man. Why would I beat up an old man?
Well, you said
I
you've
don't
done
know.
one con.
For laughs.
I beat up Johnny Rotten. He's like 60.
You said you did that one con, didn't you?
It was like more like an event for actual authors, not comic book creators. I was the only comic book creator there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yo, I would love that.
So,
I would rather be at like a book con with comics than actually be at a Comic Con. That'd
Yeah,
be like the one oddball.
Yeah, I stood out like a sore thumb. People were talking to me a lot more about that, but I only had one sale.
yeah.
So it was,
Well, at least you were there. And there's the thing. Did you have any business cards to give out? Something to give people?
I didn't think about that. I just went.
Yeah. Well,
I had copies.
Well, for the next thing that you go to, get some business cards or something that you can give people for free.
Actually, I just thought of something funny. Anyway, yeah, I could probably do business cards.
That way, you can say, here, take this, and at least when they get home, they have something to remember you by. Hopefully, they look you up or whatever.
No, I'd make plenty of sales if I was there. You know what I would do? I would convince them through conversation while we're talking that it'd be a funny, very funny idea that they went up to like a novel book con or whatever, and they came back with comic books from the only person who was selling comic books there.
Ah, I should have done that. I was expecting more of foot traffic, but they're actually were kind of experimenting on what day would actually have more people coming in.
Yeah. How many make at least the 8,000 business cards, says Goodnight Spoon. How does Goodnight Spoon know about that? He wasn't
Time
around
travel.
for that.
Or was he?
Time travel.
Maybe
That's
Goodnight
canon.
Spoon has always existed before we were even here.
No.
I
I joke about
Never.
that because
ever print more than like 100 business cards at a time.
yeah. Well, in some ways it was a very stupid thing to do, and I can admit that. But actually in some ways it was a very smart thing to do.
I guess you
Explain.
haven't had to pay for business cards in a long time, so there's that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For under $100, and that's Canadian, I got 8,000 of them, Tim. You're paying $20. Most people are paying $20, at least Canadian, for 500.
Don't mind me typing. I'm definitely not looking up how to special deals on business cards. Talking.
Goodnight Spoon says, no, but what? 8,000 is my favorite number. And then does some sort of emoji. All right, let's see Timothy's business card. I think he has to make it first.
I have to make one first, silly.
Yeah. Now, there's different ways to do it. Impressive. Very nice.
He might be the leader of the cult of Raven, but he ain't that smart.
No, you know what though? It reminded me like it's one of the scenes from American Psycho, right? There's like that where they're in the business meeting and they're looking at each other's like business card, and you get like the whole narration in his head about it because it's all like flat, like what's it called? Self-flattering or whatever. It's like trying to hype each other up and trying to be like the big dog in the room, and it's like there's like this little fraternity culture around the business cards and stuff.
Yeah. But I'm not
I loved
I'm
American
not sure
Psycho.
whether you want to do what I did. Like, as you know, on one side I have a picture and like my comic company name, and then on the other side I have like the logo and name, and then various places where they can find me. That way it's easier to read.
Right.
But that
Yeah.
catches people's attention. Or I think it does. On a metal
Yeah,
one.
I get you.
And like I said, there are, at least with business cards, hopefully they're cheap enough where you can give him away and, you're not worried about the expense,
Have you ever seen was it the Practical Jokers where they gave him one business card and he had to get it back from people after they gave it to him?
It's a funny show.
Yeah. The best part is they're messing with each other because they're like good friends.
Oh yeah, I think my favorite one is any bit where the other three are on the microphone like remotely and they have to get the other person to do something, and then they'll just make him have to say the absolute worst thing, and the guy's like, I fold. I'm not doing that.
Well, I mean, they had one where it's like Joe had to serve potatoes to some people at a restaurant, and he goes, "You're wrong.
Yeah.
It's potatoes or something like that."
Josh, Good Night Spoon says, Joshua, smart, smart, smart. Joshua says, Metal understood the reference. Oh, the business card thing?
Yeah, it's a great scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I'm the one that's stupid then. That's okay. I can handle that.
But yeah, well, you want to try, if at least you're not making a sale, you want to try and get your business card in people's hands.
You want
That
people
way,
to remember you.
yeah, and have some. And usually, if they have something to remember you, it's a little easier. And I'm not sure whether you is there anywhere that you can build a free website nowadays, or
Oh,
Plenty of
yeah,
places. Yeah.
plenty
Now
of
you'll have a shared domain, right? So if you build it at WordPress or Wix or whatever, it'll have like a WordPress dot and then your domain or a Wix dot. But then after it's built, you can always upgrade to your own domain. Like it's an option you'll have.
yeah, you might even think about doing that, Tim. Having your own sort of website that people can go to and see different things about Melvin or Velvet Comics.
I have a rough draft. I haven't
Yeah.
launched it though. That's the thing.
Uh,
And I'm
because
assuming
that's
it's probably easier for Velvet Comics as trying to get a domain around the name Melvin is probably going to be difficult.
yeah.
It'd have to be Velvet Comics.
Yeah, because that's what he would want it under. Because yeah, Melvin's there, but then he has other properties that he's wanting to release, eventually. So, and you can put stuff like where you're going to be or whatever, like cons that you
Yeah.
might be at, unless you want to pay out, $70
Or
a
you,
year or whatever it is for a domain, and then it's uh building it, which can be the hard
or
part.
you could be like me and have a full website that you
Yeah,
pay for annually and just not update it for months on end.
that's me too. That's me too. I have my own website,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
but
gonna have to think about it a little bit more, but
yeah,
I'll definitely have to get back to actually working on that
Yeah,
website thing.
Behance, that's another option.
I used the Wix website.
yeah.
They just have a rough draft. I haven't gotten back to it and worked on it though.
Isn't Behance owned by Adobe?
I have no idea.
I think it is.
Yeah. And the thing is, Tim, even if it's not perfect, probably launching it sooner rather than later, because as me and Metal do, you can always update it little bit by little bit or every so often.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I got it in rough draft mode, and I haven't
I think
launched
the
it
last
yet.
time I saw anybody send me something for Behance was portfolios from like comic artists.
I just, like I said, I recently just did a whole bunch of upgrades and I'm trying to get a few more on there. Like, I've got regular cross comic art for sale, and then I might be putting up fan art for sale on there. All the original pieces. Not that anybody's buying anything or whatever, going there and buying any of that stuff, but they can't buy it if it's not up there for sure, right? And it's just sitting around my room anyways. So might as well give it a chance to, if somebody goes by that they might, oh, I like that. Although technically I haven't even got a tenth of what I actually have for stuff up there yet. I just don't want to overwhelm the page with stuff. But it's past the time actually. So, Metal, anything you would like to promote?
Yeah, sure. I was gonna do this earlier, but then I remembered you had a chill stream, so I hopped on here instead. But I'm probably gonna be streaming something within, I don't know, the half hour mark or the next hour mark. I'm not sure. Somewhere between. I'm gonna take a little break before hopping on. But between like 11:30 to midnight my time, I'll probably be streaming something.
Uh-huh.
Maybe uh Genshin, because I think Star Rail is still down for maintenance. Maybe Hollow Cure, because that looks fun. Maybe something completely different. I don't know. Maybe I'll play the original Devil May Cry. I haven't decided yet.
Uh, did Goodnight Spoon says the opposite strategy for your Discord? I'm not sure what you mean, Goodnight Spoon, and who are you talking to? And Tim, uh, I'd say anything you want to promote, but I know there's something you want to promote.
Yes, Melvin 3 is still available on Fund My Comic with 29 days left. You can get Melvin 3, heck, you could even get Melvin 0. And if we get to 700, I'll offer a card.
Ooh, a trading card?
Trading card. Yes, you're correct. You're correct, my friend.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, and that's a green. That's a green with is that the Melvin versus that green
Green
Venom type?
Monster.
Yeah, Venom type
Yes.
looking monster. Although it's not
It's
Venom.
drawn by Sherwin say
Yeah,
drawn by Sherwin. Yes.
yeah, and that's
Never.
not yet in any. That art is not in any other thing.
No, it's not in the book. It's just it's just a card by itself.
Overwhelming pages. The
It's a filtering mechanism. By having that many like chat rooms in the Discord, anybody who's not supposed to be here sees it and immediately wants to leave.
Well, I never thought of it that way, but I just thought of it. Hey, I've seen more other ones with 10 times as many. That I find it a little. Where do I do stuff through?
Listen, I don't like having too many in my Discord. I actually have an area called retired rooms where every so often, if I don't have reason to have a room anymore, I'll keep the archive, like the log and stuff in there, but I'll just retire the channel like into that section and nobody can see it anymore except for the mods.
Well, there's the thing. A lot of people are mods on mine. A lot of people get to become mods because they come in and like they're in something like this and they need to share stuff. So suddenly you're a D list mod, a D hero list mod.
Why would I want to be a D hero when I can be an A hero?
Because you don't get a choice in the matter.
What's it
Damn
like
it.
tangling with an A-lister?
I don't know.
But with that said, I'll thank Metal and Tim for coming on. Thank everybody in the chat for coming by. And remember, I am going to be back on later on today, my time, anyways. At 5 p.m. Eastern, I am going to be talking with R.H. Snow about, I think it's actually more of a novel. She's been on D&Q Fan Edition quite a bit. And it's called what is it called? Something the Watcher of the Damned. So, and she has it over on Indiegogo, not Indiegogo. Fund My Comic. I'm so used to saying Indiegogo. I got to get more used to saying Fund My Comic.
We're gonna create a crowdsourced novel where we all write random stuff about it. That's going to go in. We're going to call it The Great American Escapade, but nothing actually happens throughout the entire story.
So, if you want to come check that out tomorrow or later today, depending on where you are, we'd love to have you, and hopefully, maybe you'll see something you like and might even buy. So, for now, ta ta. We'll catch you later today, tomorrow, whatever it might be for you. God bless.